Hi, this is John O'Brien with California Creedence at californiacreedence.com. I wanted to go over a few things that our band has learned over the last 10 years that we've been around. So a few things when you're playing venues, there are some situations where you want to make sure that you're going to be asked back so that you can have kind of a busy gig schedule for the upcoming year. So I wanted to go over a few things that are really important during a performance and also getting ready for the new year of trying to book as many gigs as you can. First thing you want to do is make sure to try to book your gigs early. If you are trying to book gigs, say for 2025, and you're starting to book them around February, March of that year, that's going to be too late. What you're going to want to do is, we're in November now, this is about the time that you want to book your gigs. You want to get those on the calendar as soon as possible, because a lot of summer concerts for the following year start booking around November, December. By the time January, February rolls around, a lot of the gigs are gone. So you'll want to get that going as soon as possible. Another thing that you might want to keep in mind is also making sure that you have a video available, because when venues are looking for a band, they also want to see that there's some kind of video. One of the things that really good bands and really talented musicians neglect is to be aggressive about marketing. Now, it's important to spend some money on that. For example, joining the Bash or even going with Gig Salad. Yes, you can get some of these things for free, but if you really want to get some quality gigs where they're going to pay pretty well, you want to focus on marketing. And that's probably the most aggressive thing you want to do. It's as important or even more important than having band practices. Something else that you're going to want to have in place when you're getting your band started is a policy in place about what's the minimum that you're going to charge. You don't want to play gigs for exposure. When you play gigs for exposure, all you're getting exposed to are customers that don't want to pay anything to see your band. Our band, we will not play gigs that don't pay anything, only because we don't believe that when you play for free, that the exposure that you get are to paying customers. Now, there are other people who have disagreements with that, depending on the venue, or if it's a bigger event, it might be good to get some stage time, to get some photographs and some videos. Sure, if it has something to do with marketing, but we typically don't accept gigs that won't pay anything, because anyone who doesn't value your talent is not going to very well be a good connection for other people who are willing to pay for your talent. Using contracts are a really good idea. Contracts can be something that hold customers accountable to your gig, but more important than the contract itself is insisting on a deposit. So once a venue pays a deposit and they have money in the game, they're much less likely to spontaneously replace your band with some other band or to cancel the event. So always make sure that in addition to your contract, you're going to want to require the customer to pay a deposit before you will put them on your band schedule. When it comes to charging, how much do I charge for an event? So what we've done over the years, I took over the marketing and stuff like that in 2017. And so I created a database, and the database records how many gigs we actually secured, played, and got paid. And then I record that payment, and then I keep a track of those ongoing as we do several shows, one after another. And then what that does is it starts to calculate the average that people pay. So you may do a $2,000 gig, and then you may do a $600 gig, then you may do a $900 gig, and then you may do a $400 gig, just, getting out there. Then you might do a $4,000 gig, and so on and so forth. And then what that's going to do is it's going to give you an average. So whenever you're going to book a gig and you're asking yourself, well, how much do I charge? Once you have a running average of how much people are willing to actually pay, then the closer you are to the sender is going to give you the idea of, is this a potentially, are they serious? If they're serious, you can play around somewhere around that average, and you'll start finding that your band is actually, the longer you play, it's actually going to find an average. But when you're starting out, you are going to, it's the law of supply and demand. So you will have to start out with your averages being a little bit on the low side. So if you're starting out, you don't want to play for free, but you will want to charge something and have that customer give up, at least $400 or something, as long as the playtime is realistic. And then as you become more popular, that means the demand is going up and your supply of time is going down. Then your band, how much you charge, goes up. And then what happens is, if you start following a lot of the suggestions that I'm making, what's going to happen is, by the next year, you're going to have regular customers that say, hey, we really liked you. Can you do this next year as well? And you can already start populating your calendar even for the next year while you're currently playing in the year at hand. And don't be worried about the fact that it's a year from whenever you're playing, because that year goes by fast. And always definitely make sure that you are thinking about not necessarily the sale as much as you're thinking about the resale, and that's what keeps your band busy. But you also have to be very careful. If you're going to be a bar band and you're going to be regular at a bar band, you're going to be working long hours for low pay. And if your interest is having a few beers or some free drinks, getting a lot of attention and stuff but playing for long periods of time, getting tired of playing the same old songs, but you're okay with that, then the bar scene might be your gig. Money may not be important to you, but getting the attention and the accolades from people who want to clap for your music or dance to it, that might be your thing. If you're someone who values your talent and doesn't really want to give it up for very, very cheap, then you're going to want to take on some of the marketing strategies, and definitely not settle for much, less than like $500. Our band right now, we start at $1,000, and unless you're a regular customer who's been with us for several years, and then we go up from there. So at least $1,000 and a $400 deposit. And we stay as busy as we want to be. So that's a lot. It's a long video, and I know there's a lot that's been said. These are just based on experience, and I would encourage you to obviously take these as suggestions. These are just some things that we've learned as a band, and I really think that being in a cover band is a wonderful service that we give to the community, and it's something that should be enjoyed and celebrated by everybody, because music is a universal language.